amazing people. Welcome to another Dad Chat. Today we're coming to you from Lake Stevens, Washington. Lake Stevens is approximately 35 miles north of Seattle and about 65 miles south of the Canadian border and roughly about 7 miles east of Everett, Washington. It has a circumference of about 8 miles and it's a great, fun lake. Get out there if you get the chance. All right, today's Dad Chat, we're going to be talking about credit, how to improve credit, and what is credit. Also, at the end, stay tuned for Dad's Tip. Okay? Dad's Chat is just to talk about a whole myriad of stuff, and we'll go over whatever we can think of, just as though we were having a good chat about anything that might be needed in your life. All right, let's get into it. Credit. Let's start off with the credit bureaus, TransUnion, Experian, and the other one that I can't remember right now, Equifax. There it is. All right, so first of all, these three companies, what they do is they aggregate data and they compile a number that they associate with you. That number goes from roughly 350 to 850. 350 being the lowest, 850 being the highest, and they will find information that's sent to them by creditors or utilities or insurance companies. Sometimes even if you're a renter, landlords might be sending to the credit reporting bureaus. Now that information is all compiled, and you will hear sometimes a FICO score. FICO score, FICO stands for Faith, Isaac, and Company, right? Two guys back in the 50s, Mr. Faith, Mr. Isaac, created a company, Faith Isaac Company, FICO, and they started aggregating data and coming up with a way to say, hey, this person's creditworthiness is good, this person's not so good, and the banks and insurance companies will look at that and say, what is the risk to the reward? A bad credit report or a credit rating gives high risk. So the bank's going to need a higher reward. That reward typically comes in the form of an interest rate. So maybe you were buying a car and you had poor credit and you could have gotten, we'll say, 5% interest if you had great credit, but now they're hammering you with 12% interest. Risk reward, right? So the banks are also looking at a few other things, and it's not always whether or not you're making your payments. So they're looking at the debt to income ratio. How much debt do you have per income of your annual gross, right? And it might be that you make your payments on everything, but you're still having a low credit score. So they're looking at that debt and they're saying, well, you've got too much debt based on how much money you're actually bringing in. So they're gonna ding you for that. The other things that they'll ding you for is how much debt you'll actually have on a particular credit card. So that's called debt utilization, right? How much are you utilizing the actual credit that they've been giving you? Now you'd say, hey, they gave me a $5,000 credit card, therefore they should be okay with me using $5,000. No, they're not. They ding you for that. So if you have $1,000 on that $5,000 card, then they're saying, hey, he's not overutilizing that. He's got room to use and grow, and he's showing that he's responsible, or she's just doing a fabulous job of budgeting her money, right? This person is solid, and whereas you get another person, they get a $5,000 credit card, they go out and they max it out all at once because you need that big screen TV that you want to pay on for decades. You need new tires for the car. Even though the old ones were still good, but hey, those new wheels look rad, man. So don't do it. Cool your jets. when you get that card, you don't want to overutilize. You want to make sure that you're keeping even 10%. So $1,000 of credit limit, $100 of use, right? So 10% is really what they want to see you at, and that'll jump your score up. Now these things are a slow moving wheel. So let's say you're just starting out. I'm gonna say you're 17, right? Unfortunately, they're not gonna let you start getting credit until you get 18. It used to be a thing you could. We would apply for credit cards for our kids and pay on them when they were 10 years old, and that way when they were 18, they'd have an 850 score. Well, they turned that spigot off. So, but what you can do is you can still plan and get in place, right? So when you turn 18, go out and get a small credit card. Could be a gas card, could be a department store card. Those tend to be the easiest to get. You know, one thing that I really like for people to get if they're just looking at building their credit is get a personal line of credit, $500. Put it into an account in the bank that you got it for and have them auto withdraw to pay that back. It'll cost you like $25, and that will raise your credit score, and that $25 can save you having a lower interest when you make a major capital purchase, being a house or an automobile or something like that. That $25 spent on that interest is going to potentially save you thousands down the road on something else. Okay? So it's a game. Learn the rules. Play to win. That's how it works. That's how everything works in life, right? Learn the rules, play to win, and have fun doing it. But again, it's a slow moving wheel. If you've got a 500 credit score right now, don't panic. You can fix it, okay? You just got to take your time. One way to start is if you've been making your payments regularly and you've got a high interest credit card or a high interest car loan and you haven't been missing payments, call them up and say, I want you to lower my rate. And lo and behold, they will. And that first round when they say, hey, you've been paying 12%, we can go ahead and drop that down to 9% for you. You say, nah, I'd like to speak with a supervisor. And they'll drop it another point or two. And you will save thousands over the long run by doing that. Simple little phone call, right? Good stuff? I hope so. Leave comments in the whole comment section. You know, I'm not good at this. I'm supposed to tell you hit the subscribe, all that crap. I don't know. All right, Dad's tip. Are you ready for this? This is really, really important. Whatever car you're driving, learn how to change your tire. You might have AAA. You might have another dad out there that's willing to come out and do it. You might have a best friend or a roommate who will do it, but invariably that tire will only pop when they're not around. Know how to change your tire. First thing you got to do is go in your car, make sure you've got the stuff to change the tire, because even if they're going to come and rescue you, it's not going to help if you don't have the parts there. Make sure you can change the tire, make sure you have the parts to change the tire, find out what model and make you've got, get on YouTube and find out. Check this guy. He's cruising. Late Stevens. All right, all good? Love ya. Welcome to Dad Chat. I'll look forward to talking to you again.